Hello, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. My name is Gemma. I am a criminologist and I'm an advanced cultist. And I like to talk about inversions. Okay? So, we can talk about appearances all day long, can't we? Hi, yeah, no, yeah, I got a gap in my teeth. Ugh. Ugly, aren't I? Right? So, we have inversions outside of us, which is like a deformity. Then you can have like an inversion inside yourself, in here, in your mind, right? So, usually when you grow up as a child, we learn to rise out of those inversions. Sometimes it's a negative and sometimes it's a positive experience. But we then use our moral compass, children and grown-ups who don't know how to do this. We use our moral compasses and we learn as we grow up what to do and what not to do by your own level of harm, how it felt for you, how you would then approach taking care of people and looking after them or treating them as you would be treated. So we're going for the Bible. There's some good stuff in there too, isn't there? Right? So we would assess, usually on a crime-based understanding, that we analyse our law according to the pain suffered and majority of public and how they want it to be. So I don't understand why you are mocking our opinions as governing factors. And I don't know where the moral compass was laid for you personally in your life. You must have been cotton-wooled and not understand anything about a level of harm to interpret your law, your sentencing tariffs, for example, for child abusers who molest children. Obviously, no one wants to be hurt as a child, right? So, we can understand if an abuse or something happened to you, right, as a minor child, not a minor digger for oil, a child, right? You can understand that in aspects of justice, you've fallen, and in feels, what you've done to them, smashed them to bits. Smashed them to bits, haven't you? Right? What's that for? Why? Right? So as hierarching factors, you're supposed to pull that child up out of them inversions. Yeah. That's what they're down there for, love. Hey, that's what they're in there for. You're supposed to pick them up. Not toss them away. And place them in places that they shouldn't be placed. Because this actually came out the other day on the MEP. One of the old MEPs brought this out. About how children are being placed in caravans. And they're supposed to be in care. Because their parents can't look after them, is that right? Is that right? So, like, this is obviously a mark of something extremely serious. I mean, to tell us openly that this is taking place for children who are being placed in care, being put in caravan parks by social workers and CAFCAS officers, and God knows who else is taking the children, placing them in caravan parks. Who's looking after them singularly in them spaces? Questionable, isn't it? All of it. Why is this happening? There's a mass number of children going, okay, I said 25%, I'd say it's 50%, right? 1 in 3 children go missing of those children. So what are they actually doing with them? So it's obvious what's happening to the children there, isn't it? Do we need to spell it out for you? Justice system. Do we need to spell that out for you? Do I really need to be in a position where everybody's ignoring it? And lastly, when he had finished speaking about it, the ex-MEP, can't remember his name, he did not even explain how to help these children, what to do for these children. They offered no resources. They offered no way out for answers. Okay, almost like they want to accept it. Now this is an inversion at a 3. Okay, this is an understanding. You are now bringing us an aspect of wisdom and understanding, like an Anu, it's not even an Anu, it's an inverted state, right? So you're bringing, because I don't even want to slag Anu off at this stage, because we're bringing wisdom, so you're telling us all about it, MEP, to understand a position for what? For it to be accepted, ignored, and unhelped. So what are we doing about the crisis for the war on children? Because let me tell you here and now, those children shouldn't be in them places, and they should be with their mothers, and they sound like they're more safer at home with their parents than anywhere else. So what is going on? You have to understand that you are paying consequences for this. You are all paying prices for this. If you think you sit at Crown and you know, then you know what's going on. Yeah? Do you smile about it? Yeah. So, can you ultimately be a good role model, or in a position of power where you can overarchingly take a responsibility for what's going on, because you know where the children are being placed. So you know where the children are being placed, okay? So we all know where the children are being placed, okay? So how can you say that you are a good person who knows, okay, the likelihood of those people, those children, those little tiny children who probably were safer with their parents are now going into a place where they're not even being catered for. They're in caravans, not even in hotels, not even in hotels. They're in homes, foster homes, care homes, like 1-2 star. They're being traumatized there constantly. Do you think they're better off in them spaces or back with their parents? I would suggest that you really think about this, because you are all supposed to be ruling and judging over this, and you're allowing this to take place. Do you think you sit in your version? Do you think that's a version, do you? Do you think that's a version? Are you all proud of yourselves for doing this to these children? Are you proud of yourselves for putting them in these places? Do you think that you're good people? Do you think that you can understand the level of harm that's being created for these children? Are you thinking about this? Or are you just reading off on a piece of paper because someone else said to do it? Are you an actual real judge? Because if you were, you wouldn't put them children in that position. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed. All these children being placed in these places. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. All of you sit in inverted states. You do not belong in the justice system, sitting in that position and putting these children in them places. None of you. None of you. All of you. You have placed children in dangerous situations. So let's go back to the level of harm that's being created for them. And you are placing them in them spaces. Right? So, how do you plead? I am gematria. How do you plead? What are you doing? Accepting this. No wonder everyone is inverted. No wonder your world has gone down. Okay? And you call yourselves parishes. You call yourselves judges. You call yourselves positions of power. Once upon a time, you was a little child and you wanted that job. You wanted that job. You wanted to take care of them children. What changed? What changed? What changed? You need to be good people. You need to be put in them positions where you help those children and you make sure that those children in space, or you just walk into it. You're not bothered when you're in the wrong job, aren't you? Can't look after the kids, can't put them in the right spaces. We'll put them in caravan sites. What do? Take a ticket. What is it? Pick a mix. On that note, I shall move on, because this is insidious, disgusting people who are doing this. Who is ruling? And the care commissioner of quality, care commissioner, whatever she is, said that they're not going to do anything for 3 more years about the social care of the children. So you're not changing anything. You have stated that you're just ignoring this, and you're allowing it to take place and continue. What do we do? Shall we call the police? Are they going to help? Understand, the police are like down here. I do help or bring justice. So somebody's obviously done something wrong there. That's where the cops are, right? So if you're up here, how can the cops do anything about it? If you lot are up here doing it, judges, priests, God knows who else thinks that they're Anu up there doing it, and then you've got all these police officers, they're just being told what to do. Who's supposed to call? Ghostbusters? So these are your inversions. Like judges, priests, and whoever wants to say they're at the top. It's not mine. I'm just saying I'm gematria. I'm sitting with the Freemasons, remember? You told me to sit down and shut up. You took everything away from me. So, let's get into the inversions. Right? What are the inversions of a Kabbalic stream? If you don't know what the Kabbalah is, don't watch my channel. Don't speak to me about what I'm trying to say, because you are down here and I am up here with a level of understanding. You need to watch my other content, okay? If you don't, then don't. Go away, right? And there's a reason. Right, so it's easier to tell humanity, right? This is why this world's a mess. See, this is why all these inversions taking place. This is why, because the top fractions are being eradicated. They're meant to be, right? Because we have a position in this world where we're supposed to protect children. That's why I put myself on that top, because I'm telling you all now, I'm gematria, I'm what?